गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम। In our yesterday's session, we discussed on two very important aspects. One is the infinite goal and the finite goal. Anything other than infinite are all finite goals. And infinite is one and only. There is no second in it. All our money, status, power, position, profession, whatever you may name it, all are finite goals. And all finite goals, whatever we have, are bound by time and space. When anything for that matter is bound by time and space, it begins at a particular period of time and it has to end at another period of time. The longest experience a human being can have, any Jeevarashi can have, is one life's length. After that, it ends. So anything has to end. Therefore, all our happiness or sorrow or whatever you may name it has to start at a particular time and will end at a time. As Gita would say, Agama apayinaha anityaha. Therefore, when we are looking forward to the infinite happiness, complete, eternal happiness, what we need to see, what we need to turn ourselves towards is that which is eternal. Because it is only infinity can give us infinite happiness. Finitude can never give us infinite happiness. This is simple law. Very simple logic. Therefore, all our aspirations, all our activities are for gaining the first three: dharma, artha and kama. And that which will actually give us that supreme happiness, supreme experience is moksha. Kasya sukham na karoti viragaha, Acharya says. Therefore, one has to give up all the finitudes and one has to reach, one has to turn towards the higher self, which alone is infinite, and that is Bhagavan. Yesterday we gave so many names: Bhagavan, Brahman, God, Ishvaraha, truth, reality. So many synonyms are available, but all mean one and only Parabrahma Swarupa Brahman. And another word for that is moksha. All of us want moksha. In fact, we want moksha every minute from something or the other, which gives pain and suffering. Sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. This is our primary occupation in our life. We want to get rid of all that which does not give me happiness. That means I want happiness and I want eternal, permanent, complete happiness. And how interesting, in fact, I would call it interesting because how oblivious it is for all of us to understand that we are seeking something which cannot give me the permanent happiness. We are running behind the world of things and beings which by itself are temporary, and we are trying to seek permanent happiness from them. In fact, all these finitudes are permanently temporary or temporarily permanent. Don't we write the application forms? In our application forms, wherever you go when you have to fill a form, name, address, within brackets permanent address. This person is already staying in a rented house. Where is the question of permanent address? But then we write permanent address, we write our house. No guarantee, because we ourselves are not permanent. Where is the question of permanency in that? Therefore, one has to seek that alone which is permanent, and in the language of the Shastra, it is called Shreyas. And anything other than that is all preyas which are impermanent. Now, the next part in that is, what is it that I have to choose? As a human being, I have an intelligence with which I can choose, and therefore my choice decides what I will get. Krishna says, yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktya shraddhayarchitumichhasi tasya tasyam phalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. I will give them what they ask. I am ready. I will give myself to them. How many wanted? Think. He went to the Kauravas. Krishna went to Kauravas and told them, you want me or you want my army? The greedy Kauravas said, we want all your army. One Krishna, what is the use? So Krishna gave himself to the Pandavas, and the rest is history. We know what happened. Similarly, choosing Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone is considered as the intelligent choice. And therefore, the Shastras call such a people who choose Bhagavan as Vivekinaha. And those who choose anything and everything other than Bhagavan are called Avivekinaha. And here they are called as Mudhaha. And the one who choose Bhagavan are called Buddhiman, Shrestha Purushaha. Whereas the one who does not choose are called Mandaha. And another very important name which is given to the one who seek Bhagavan is Mumukshu. Where so many names are there. And here in Bhajagovindam, the whole of Bhajagovindam talks about you and I who have not yet chosen Bhagavan as the goal. Now, yesterday we made a brief mention. There are two types of goals as we saw, finite goals and infinite goals. In the case of human beings, we have three types of people. Who are they? We can classify them as MRS. Not MRF, that is tires. MRS. What is MRS? Materialistic, religious, and spiritual personalities. Three types of personalities. Why do we classify them like that? Materialistic people are those who have no concern, nothing to do with Bhagavan, moksha, God, reality, truth, nothing. 24/7, their mind is stuck with acquiring, possessing, indulging, embracing, enjoying. What? Anything and everything available. And their mind works very hard in planning, in scheming to achieve that objects of desire by which they appear to gain kind of happiness, satisfaction, their image is boosted, their prestige is raised, they find a position in the society, and you find such a person who has nothing to do with Bhagavan called as atheist. Then the second variety. The first variety is materialistic people who are completely selfish. And even in that, in fact, I should extend that one point. Even in the materialistic people, there are three types. What are they? Who are they? One is who works only for oneself. In fact, even within the family, he thinks of how much he can get. How more can he or she get? Even within the family, it is there. There are such selfish people. The second variety is not only me, but my family. But my people. And there are third varieties who are probably fixed with certain communities. My community, my class, my race, my religion. There also selfishness is there, but probably an extended selfishness. Three types of people. Then we have this religious kind. Who are these religious kind? They are the people who accept the presence of God. They not only accept the presence of God, they even have a kind of belief in God. But what is the kind of belief they have? The belief is that God will give me whatever I want. So where are they actually? They want all these things and beings, power, position, money, etc. For gaining those finite things, they try to use the infinite Bhagavan. Think. I remember in my childhood, there were some people whom I came across who would cut a small white cloth, dip it in turmeric water, and then dry it. Then they will keep 1 rupee 25 paisa coin in that, 2 coins, and make knot, and keep it in front of Bhagavan. Bhagavan, let my daughter get married, or let me get Karnataka state lottery. Let the bumper prize come to me only. For that, dakshina, in a manner of saying, bribe. To whom? Bhagavan himself. This is one variety. Religious people who accept Bhagavan, but accept Bhagavan, that Bhagavan which will give me what I want. And in case that Bhagavan does not give, very simple, change. Earlier Ganapati, then Shiva, then Hanuman, then in Hinduism we have no dearth. 33 crores of gods are there. Think. For selfish reasons, there is one Bhagavan. This is first variety, even in the religious people. The second variety are those who are religious, again, for the sake of being religious, for the sake of being recognized in a society that I am a very religious person. You have people with lot of marks on their faces from here to here, or you have all these varieties, lot of varieties are there. Shaivites, Vaishnavites, even in Vaishnavites, Unama, Vinama, Vainama. Varieties. And they are so fanatic about it. They are fanatic because they want other people to recognize that I am religious, and I am religious in this variety. And I will claim, for whatever it costs, I will claim my Bhagavan alone is the ultimate. All others are, they call the other Bhagavans also and say they are under my Bhagavan. My Bhagavan alone is Shrestha. This is second variety, who have nothing to want with reference to material, etc., but they are stuck with fanatic religious attitudes. And then we have the third variety. They neither want any materialistic part, nor they are fanatic about their Bhagavan, but they are religious for gaining some loka, maybe Brahma, Swarga loka, or they want to avoid Naraka loka. Therefore, they want to do a lot of punya karma. So it is not totally selfish, it is not fanatic, yet it is not infinite. These are the 3 types of religious people. Then we have the third important variety, who are called as spiritual people. Now who are these spiritual people? Spiritual people are those who accept God completely, and in that, among those spiritual people also, I may call, there are 3 types. What are the 3 types? One is Manda Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. Who are these Manda Adhikari? Manda Adhikari are those who want moksha. Please note, who want moksha after gaining all other things. Remember, I keep often telling it. You might be tired of listening to this from me. Mamo Partha Samasta Durdakshay Dvara Shri Parameshwar Prityaktam Mama Kudumanam Kshemas Tairya Virya Vijay Lala blah 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 Sadguru Prasada Siddhyartam Cha. That is there. Meaning what? Moksha is also another demand along with the big list of demand we have. Probably 1234th demand. I am being very polite. Our case is different. Our case is 12 crores 34 lakhs 56,789.0 demands we have from Bhagavan. Yes or no? Think. And the last one is Bhagavan also. He is there in the list. Unlike the others. He is there in the list, but he has lot of demands and Bhagavan. Sadguru Prasada Siddhyartham Cha. Think. They are Manda Adhikaris. The second varieties are Madhyama Adhikari. Who is this Madhyama Adhikari? Who wants Bhagavan. Yes. He wants Bhagavan after a particular time. Like how people say, Swamiji, after retirement, I will be always with you, Swamiji. 123 people have told this. Not a single person has come after that. Why? They become busy after retirement, babysitting at home. Think. They have that in mind. Interestingly, you will find there are a lot of people who attend classes. Bhajagovindam class or Tattva Bodha class. Any class we do, they attend. Earlier, they were in front, Pratyaksha Pramana. So they also make sure that others come and notice their presence. But they attend the class. They listen to it occasionally. No, Madhya they have free trips to make, you see. Mind goes out and comes back. But then they attend. And interestingly, they also work in terms of understanding. There are some category of people who want to show off their so-called knowledge by asking some questions publicly. But there are people who are sincere in asking questions even when the Acharya is alone or through messaging or through email, because that sincerity is there. One has to accept and appreciate their sincerity in trying to understand, trying to learn, trying to gain the knowledge of the Shastras. Yes. And for them, God's position has improved. From the last position, it has come to probably top 10, we may say. And in fact, don't get scared when I say, even those people who have, promoted the requirement, the need of God to the top, first position, they are also called Manda Adhikari. Allah, Madhyama Adhikari. Manda Adhikari, God is at the end. Madhyama Adhikari, for him, even God can be at the top. Why do I say the God is at the top, but why do I call him Madhyama Adhikari? Because the list is there. The list of requirement is there. The list of demand is there. Definitely God is at the top, accepted. So those are the people who even attend the class, who also do some homework in the class, who study the scriptures in the class, who probably listen to 123 people. There are some people who overdose themselves in spirituality. But they are also called Madhyamadhikaris. The reason is, while doing all that, they get stuck at some point. They get stagnated at certain points. And in some very rare cases, you find that also becomes an obsession. Let me put this very clearly. Spirituality becomes an obsession, which itself is a hindrance for gaining the knowledge. Such people are called Madhyama Adhikaris. And who is the Uttama Adhikari? Here, Acharya, when he says Vivekinaha, when he says Buddhiman, then it is those people who have nothing else other than moksha alone. They alone can be called as Mumukshu. All the other variety, Acharya elsewhere calls them as Bubhukshu, Bhoktumichuhu. And who is Mumukshu? Moksha eva ichuhu. The one who doesn't want anything else. In fact, his desire for moksha, as in the language of Param Pujya Gurudev, is the desperate need to become free. It is as though like a person, you hold his hair, push the face into the water and tell him, can I give you $1 crore? $100 million I will give you. He'll say, to hell with your dollar. Take me out. I need to breathe. That desperation for breathing at that condition defies all other need. It negates all other demand. At that moment, there is nothing else I want. I want to breathe. That is the desperation of a mumukshu. I want to be free. As I said yesterday, Shastras become relevant only to such a person who is desperately wanting to be free, desperately want moksha and nothing else. Acharya Shankara, actually speaking, he is not addressing the mumukshu in this text. Acharya Shankara is not addressing the Uttama Adhikari in Bhajagovindam. He addresses common, normal people like you and me for us to understand where we are. For us to gain the hang of what exactly are we looking forward and where are we making the wrong choice. Acharya wants us to understand how capable I am to uplift myself by correcting the attitude, aptitude, approach and assimilation of the world at large and the Supreme. And therefore, elsewhere, very beautifully he said, in the Viveka Chudamani he had said, Kuranga Matanga Patanga Meena Bringaha. 5 sense organs were told. Naraha Panchabhihi. When he said the 5, Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Meena, Bringa, all the five are such specific creatures who die because of the desire. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all these five independently can pull you down. Naraha, Panchabhihi. Man has got all the five desires. Huh? What to talk of human beings? Therefore, Acharya here is very specifically showing us with a mirror. It is as though he is holding a, they call in the mirror, Benjamin mirror, I think. Belgium mirror. Belgium mirror, he is showing us a mirror which clearly reflects what we are. He is showing us that Belgium mirror and says, Murkha, Mudhaha, that is what he says. Mudhaha, look at yourself properly. Therefore he says, Bhaja Govindam. And who is Govinda? Govinda is the infinite. Bhaja means seek, search for Govinda. In our case, seek Govinda. What is the difference? Seeking is that destination which we don't know anything about it. Like if you want to reach Sadhana Mandira and you are, let us say, in Kolkata, you want to reach Sadhana Mandira. You don't know where is Mysore first of all. Then you take up your mobile, Google Maps, you open up, where is it? Then you ask Google Ananda, where is Mysore? Then it says, go to Karnataka. In Karnataka, one of the city is Mysore. Then you type in the Google Map, Mysore. Then you say, you type Sadhana Mandira. Then it will give you that. Then from Kolkata you have come. You have no idea in Mysore where Sadhana Mandira is, in spite of the fact that you have a Google Map. Think. So you start from there. This is seeking. And another very good example for searching I always give is the spectacle which you have kept on the table. In very many elders' case, it will be hanging, but they don't know that it is hanging on their neck. Then you put your hand, all papers, everything is there. You put your hand to find out where it is. You know it is here. You know it is on the table, yet you don't know where it is. This is searching. Acharya here says, seek Govind. Why? We don't know where is Govinda. We may have kept a beautiful picture here, but we know it is a photo. You might have a beautiful vigraha in your altar, but you know it is a vigraha. Think. Do we really have faith? Do we really have the trust that Govinda is there, where you have only done the pratishtha? Think. Even in a temple where prana pratishtha is being done, we don't have faith that Bhagavan is definitely there. We may go to the temple, we may pray in front of him, still that true faith that Bhagavan is there is not there with us. We may believe in God, but we don't have faith in God. When I have total faith in God, abhayam pratishtham vindate, athaso bhayam gato bhavati, says Upanishad. If I have even an iota of fear, that means I have no faith in God. Think. Therefore, Acharya says, seek Govind. I remember Parampuja Gurudev used to roar from his platform, seek Govind, seek Govind, Govind alone you seek. O fool! He used to show all of us like that. Think. Bhaja means seek. And Govinda. Govinda is infinite. How do you understand this Govinda? Gam vindati palayati iti Govinda. Gau means cows. He is the one who has protected and takes care of cows. This story we know as Blue Boy of Vrindavan. He was a cowherd boy. He was protecting the cows. Therefore, Gam vindati palayati iti Govinda. Another name, another meaning of Govinda. Go also means Prithvi, earth. Therefore, again Gam Prithivim vindati palayati iti Govinda. We also know the third avatara among the Dasha avatars, Varaha avatara. He went into the sea and brought the earth back. He protected the earth. Therefore, he is also called Govinda. The third meaning of Govinda is Gaha means Indriyani, our senses. Gaha Indriyani vindati palayati. The one who protects. What do you mean by protecting here? The senses cannot function without the presence of consciousness. Minus consciousness, they cannot sense anything. It is mere matter. So for the senses to perceive through all the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, everything, the consciousness is required. That consciousness is Bhagavan. Therefore, he is also called Govinda. Tam Govindam Bhaja is the call. Now, Acharya says, Mudhamate. Mudhamate meaning what? O fool. Who is that fool? The one who is deluded, who is confused. Confused of what? Confused of what should be his actual goal of life. The actual goal of life is Govinda, the infinite Bhagavan, the supreme reality. But we have taken the finite things to be reality, the finite things as our goals, and therefore such a person who is deluded with the finite things and beings is called Mudha. And Dhira Purusha is one who is no more in the gamut of things and beings, the world, but who has raised himself from following, pursuing all these impermanent things and who has sought the path towards perfection. Bhagavad Gita says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantarah praptihi dhiraha tatra na muhyati. Deha is that which is bound by Shadvikaraha. What is Shadvikaraha? Asti, Jayate, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Nashyati. And anything and everything other than infinite belongs to Deha. One belongs to Deha, two for the Deha, three from the Deha. Meaning what? It is centered. It is self-centered with reference to Deha. Such a person who is cycling around the Deha only, Deha as the center, he is called as Mudhamate, deluded person. Gurudev used to say, PhD in foolishness, doctorate in foolishness are those people who have mixed the goal between finite and infinite. So Acharya calls Mudhamate Govindam Bhaja. Kale Sannihite Samprapte. When the time of departure comes, nothing will remain. He starts this text with that thought. We will now chant that shloka and then continue more tomorrow. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrinchkarani. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrinchkarani. I will chant the shloka always two times. First time, listen to the shloka. Second time you may chant along with me. Sannihite Kale, at the time of death, Dukrinchkarani Nahi Rakshati. Now this is a factor which we have to understand. Acharya Shankara wrote this text at Kashi, where now this story is well known. Therefore, I will quickly finish that so that tomorrow we will take up the further text. There was an old man, maybe 88, plus or not out, who was studying the Dhatu Patha. It is a Sanskrit forms, verbal forms. See, in English, you have only two. For example, do or does. Maybe doing, future. In Sanskrita, it is so precise. In English, you have singular and plural. In Sanskrita, you have singular, dual, and plural. Then you have first person, second person, third person. 9 forms. Karomi, Kuruvaha, Kurumaha. It is one line, singular. Like that, you have 9 forms in present tense, 9 forms in past tense, 9 forms in remote past. Then you have 9 forms in future, and you also have 9 forms in remote future. This is only for one. And each of that, past tense have got 9 forms, remote past have got 9 forms, future and then remote future. For one act, the word act, kuru, so many forms are there. At the age of 88, if he has started knowing Sanskritam, the indication here is know the priorities. It is not, let me be very clear, it is not to condemn Samskrita. Samskrita is a Deva Bhasha. And Deva Bhasha is so precise that you cannot make a mistake, and the precise word cannot confuse another meaning. So precise. And one lifetime is not sufficient to understand the grammar completely. That vast is the knowledge of Sanskritam. And right from young age, there are people who have initiated the children into the Sanskritam, and they learn very well for that which will help them later in understanding the Shastras very well. Therefore, Samskrita knowledge is very important, extremely important to understand our scriptures, and that is the very purpose of our life. So Sanskritam by itself is not condemned, but choosing Sanskritam at a wrong time is being noticed and pointed out. This we will see tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.